I'm Shinya Ishiguro, a 24-year-old office worker. This story is about how my pathetic parents got a dose of their medicine. It goes back to when I was in high school. I entered a well-known high school and was an excellent student. However, my father, Takanobu, and my mother, Miko, always said to me, "You're a failure."
I don't know how you became such an inept kid.
As I mentioned earlier, I was an excellent student in high school. My grades were all 5 except for athletics, and I always ranked top at national mock exams. If I had to pick the student who speaks the best English in our school, it'd be you, Ishiguro. You should become a diplomat in the future, Ishiguro. I'm very much looking forward to your future. I was always praised for how good I was at English at school, but my parents still didn't like me. The reason was my younger sister, Mika. She's 7 years younger than me. Mika was what people called a child prodigy. Before she entered elementary school, she had already learned to read and write and quickly mastered the multiplication table. The most important thing is that she did all that without any guidance. How did you learn everything?
I saw it in Brother's textbooks.
Did you learn it just by reading the textbooks?
Can't everyone do that?
I still remember what she said that day. It was when my parents realized that my sister was a genius. Mika kept learning new things as she grew up and became outstanding in sciences and mathematics. She was one of the top students in the country, and she had already moved to advanced programming by the time she entered elementary school. Our parents were so thrilled to know that they had a genius daughter. My father had a medium-sized construction company, so our family had some assets. As a result, my parents didn't mind investing in my sister's education at all. Compared to my sister, I looked like a failure to my parents. I was nothing more than someone slightly better than an average person. Siblings tend to get jealous of each other when there's a blatant gap between them. But surprisingly, Mika and I never had that kind of problem.
Brother, listen.
What is it? I'm listening.
You know what? I won the programming contest.
That's great, Mika. I'm proud of you.
Can you buy me an ice cream as a reward?
Okay, let's go buy some ice cream together later. Mika had a genius brain and a bright and pure personality. She saw me as her dear big brother and never boasted about what a genius she was in front of me. In other words, while I respected her for being a genius, she was more of a lovely sister to me. So despite how my parents treated me, I was genuinely happy as an older brother to see Mika succeed. In fact, it was hard for me to get jealous when we were so different. We both had our own strengths. Unlike Mika, I was not that good at science. I was more of an art type. Like my teacher said, I liked English and was good at it. It wasn't just English, too. I also liked French, German, Italian, and many other languages. I had a particular interest in languages in general, and I wanted to be a linguist or a writer who travels worldwide. Mika was very supportive of my dream. The two of us had a lot of fun talking about our futures. However, one day, Dad, today is the parent-teacher meeting day. You're coming, right? Oh, right. I forgot. Don't worry, I rescheduled it with the teacher. Do I have to go? Just do whatever you want. Well, I thought you'd say that. Remember to pay your tuition yourself. I know, I'm getting a scholarship. Also, move out when you finish high school. What? I don't want to keep providing for a failure like you. If you move out, there'll be more money for Mika. So you have to leave for the sake of your sister, What my father said may sound very heartless, but it didn't even surprise me to hear him say that. By then, I was already treated as if I was transparent at home. I was allowed to eat, but barely spoke to my parents. I basically gave up starting any conversation with them. Instead, I started spending more and more time in my room. So I knew my parents would kick me out eventually. It just happened sooner than I expected. The most important thing was to find a place to live after graduating high school. After much consideration, I decided to go to a university with a dormitory and get a full scholarship so I didn't have to pay tuition. It'd be easy to find a part-time job as a tutor with my academic achievements. Online tutoring is quite easy and common nowadays. Also, I could take advantage of my English skills and do some part-time translation work as well. I was so excited thinking about my future. And then I graduated from high school. Well then, so long!
You don't have to come back for New Year's or Ghost Festival.
My parents didn't seem to show any emotions when I left home. I didn't feel sad about leaving either. But my sister Mika was sad to see me go.
Don't go, brother. Why do you have to leave? I don't want you to go.
Mika was against the idea of me leaving home from the beginning. She refused to accept it no matter how my parents tried to persuade her. Honestly, it was tough for me to leave Mika too. I was devastated when I saw her cry. But I had no other choice. I'm sorry, Mika, but it's not a goodbye forever. I'll see you again soon. I felt terrible about leaving her, but I didn't have the luxury to care about Mika's feelings. I moved into the dormitory and had to start earning my living expenses. I worked as an online tutor and a translator at the same time. In addition, I was able to attend college with a scholarship. I didn't tell my parents about this, but if I can keep my grades up, the last 2 years of my college tuition will also be exempted. So I had to stay on top of my studies. I no longer have a home to go back to. I might end up on the street if I fail to find a job. I studied as hard as I could. Then I got certifications that could help me find a job after graduation. I aimed to find a job at a company that mainly does business overseas. After gaining some experience, I might also work for a foreign company. To have a better future, I spent my college years studying and didn't waste any time. After 5 years, I managed to land a job at a good company. I started living the fulfilling life I had dreamt of. Thanks to my hard work at school, the company offered me a pretty good salary. And I enjoyed working a lot. My company required us to speak English at work, so I felt like I was traveling overseas whenever I came to work. All my hard work paid off. At the same time, Mika also made significant progress in her life. She was offered a full scholarship to attend the most difficult to get in high school. On top of that, she won numerous prizes in math and programming competitions, and was featured in magazines as a girl prodigy. Her parents doted on her as ever and started to put even more effort into her education. They began to force Mika to study and never let her play. How do I know this after cutting ties with my family? Well, it's because…
I got first place in a national exam.
That's impressive. Well, to be honest, I'm not that surprised.
You're right. Can we go all-you-can-eat dessert as you promised?
Of course, as promised. I need to make the challenge more difficult for you next time.
What are you talking about? I'm already #1 in the whole country. Isn't that enough?
Typically, yes, but for you, no.
Don't be so strict. A deal is a deal.
Okay, I'm just joking. Can you keep it a secret from Mom and Dad? They don't let you go out, do they?
Don't worry. I'll just tell them I'm going to the library.
I see. That should work.
I'd rather spend more time with you, but it's hard to do that.
You'll have more freedom when you grow up and leave home, Mika.
I know. I can't wait to grow up.
It'll be sooner than you think. I kept in touch with my sisters without telling my parents. We communicated through texts and phone calls most of the time. Sometimes we met up behind our parents' backs. I didn't have much time to keep in touch with her when I was in college, but we managed to stay in touch thanks to Mika. I have more time to communicate with her now that I've graduated. We're still very close as siblings. The big kicker was during my college years, which I'll never forget. Mika was still in elementary school at the time. One day, she suddenly came alone to the dormitory where I lived. Mika, what are you doing here?
I didn't want you to leave, brother, so I came to find you.
What? Although Mika was an elementary school student, she was no ordinary elementary school student. It must have been difficult for her to find my dormitory by herself, but there she was. After I let Mika in, she told me that even though her parents were kind to her, they only loved her for her talents. She said I was the only one who really cared about her, and the time we spent together was the most precious moment in her life. Any brother would be moved by these words. So I gave Mika my contact information and told her to talk to me anytime. But one day, I lost contact with her.
My name is Mika Ishiguro, a 17-year-old high school student. Every day, I'm busy with my studies and after-school lessons. The only time I can find peace is when I talk to my brother. We would talk on the phone or online, even though it was just for a few minutes, and meet up occasionally to talk about trivial things. Those are the only things I look forward to. Since I was little, my brother was the only one who treated me as an ordinary girl. Unlike those around me who always had high expectations of me, my brother would praise me and reward me whenever I got good grades. Even though my parents treated my brother badly because of me, he never held grudges or mistreated me. He's always been a nice older brother who loved and spoiled me. I also adore and respect my brother a lot. So I hate my parents for what they did. They kicked my brother out right after he graduated high school. Even before they kicked him out, they treated him like he was non-existent. I can never forget my parents' atrocious behavior. So when I graduate from high school, I'll leave this house no matter what. I don't want anything to do with them anymore. But until the day I leave, I still have to continue living up to their expectations. I'll keep playing the role of their ideal good daughter. This day, I received a message from my mother.
Where are you now, Mika?
Like I told you yesterday, I was at the library. I'm on my way home now.
Don't lie to me. You were actually at the dessert buffet, weren't you?
What?
You've been acting weird lately, so I put a tracking device on you.
Wait, are you serious?
It's all your fault. Don't try to play the victim here.
Sorry. I was meeting a friend.
You lied again. You were with Shinya, weren't you? I found his contact info on your phone. I also saw your call history and texts.
You snooped on my phone?
I didn't have a choice. It's for your own good. I'm so disappointed you're still involved with that piece of shit. Anyways, we'll talk about it when you get home. I'll tell your father about this too.
Then she took my phone and deleted my brother's contact information. My father scolded.
Forget about that piece of shit!
He was pissed off. After that, they started keeping a close eye on my whereabouts and checked my phone every day. I wasn't allowed to go out most of the time. It is true that I lied about meeting my brother, but I didn't neglect my studies. I had always exceeded the expectations of my parents. And yet, here I was, living a life that was no different from living in prison. I finally reached the end of my patience. I'm so tired of being my parents' puppet. So, I decided to move out before I finished high school. I'll definitely leave this house and go live with my brother. And that's not all. I swore to punish my parents for what they'd done to my brother. It's time to exploit the trust I gained by playing a good daughter. I started my plan by making a request to my father. Dad, didn't you say you needed help with accounting? I got certified as a bookkeeper in school. Do you think I can help? My father looked a little reluctant for a moment. But then, please, let me show some filial piety.
I see. You really are a good kid.
Right? I succeeded in getting him to follow my plan in no time. I guess he never doubted my true intentions. And so, I started helping at my father's company. It was the first stage of my revenge. Of course, my real goal is not to show filial piety. It was just the easiest way I could think of to destroy my parents permanently. A few months later.
Honey, what the hell is going on? The landline hasn't stopped ringing since morning.
Shut up! How would I know?
My parents started arguing at home. While they were fighting, the doorbell suddenly rang.
Are you Mr. Takanobu Ishiguro? You are suspected of bribery. Can you please come with us?
My father was arrested. He met with the mayor of the city where my father's company is located. The shady connection between my father's company and the mayor was discovered. Of course, I was the one who had planned it. In fact, I've known this since several years ago. I overheard the conversation between my father and the mayor back then. From the content of the conversation, I sensed something sketchy was going on. I thought I could take advantage of this, so I persuaded my father to let me work at his company. After that, I found more and more dirt about the company. There were over tens of millions of dollars with uncertain destinations. In addition, I found emails between my father and the mayor which clearly suggested bribery, so I leaked the evidence to the media and the police. Of course, I did it secretly so they wouldn't know that it was me. Then, I just let the rest play out by itself. The media wrote articles about the mayor's bribery, which became a public sensation. After that, the police got involved and investigated my father and the mayor. My revenge went on smoothly. My father was arrested and awaiting trial. Even if he weren't sent to jail, he would have a criminal record. His company would go bankrupt without a doubt. My mother had to deal with interviews and complaints from people related to my father's business. She was also kicked out of her housewife friend circle and abandoned by all her other friends. She became mentally ill and eventually disappeared.
Huh? That's why I've heard from you for a while. I can't believe what happened!
I don't have a legal guardian now. Can I live with you, brother?
Sure, I'll pick you up right away. Dad is so careless, isn't he? I can't believe you found the evidence of his bribery so easily.
It wasn't easy. His account books were kept under tight security. All the emails were deleted too.
Then how did you get all the evidence?
Well, I hacked into his computer and broke into the security system, and I recovered the deleted emails.
You make it sound so easy. Well, I'll expect nothing less from you. You're a scary little sister, you know?
Huh? Shouldn't you say something else?
Oh? Oh, you did great. I'm proud of you, Mika.
Thank you, brother. Let's go to the hotel buffet this time and eat as many desserts as we want.
My little sister did such an extraordinary thing without hesitation. It seems that my parents raised a monster with their own hands. Of course, Mika is still my lovely little sister, but the media keeps saying things like the fall of the family of the girl prodigy, the hidden brother, all about the Ishiguro family, the disappeared mother, and so on. The public was excited about what was going on. Well, I've now become more used to being the center of attention, and my address hasn't been exposed yet, but just in case, I decided to move to a more secure place for my sister's sake. She moved into my new home, and now we live happily together. By the way, how's school? Are people giving you the cold shoulder now that Dad has been arrested?
Not at all. I have more time to hang out with my friends now, so they're happy about it. I've already told them how lousy our parents are.
I see. You're good at convincing people, huh? I think it's a good thing because it'll help you in the future.
You bet.
Well, I learned a secret lesson that you should never piss off a genius. After all, I don't stand a chance of defeating someone like my sister. I can't see how I can beat this sister at all. Oh, your birthday's coming up, right? A friend from work told me about this really good cake shop. It's called MoniRobo Sweets.
What? The place where you have to wait 3 months for a reservation?
Yes, his relative owns that store. I helped him a lot at work. So the store agreed to deliver a birthday cake for your birthday.
Wow! This is going to be the best birthday of my life!
Really? Mom and Dad also celebrated your birthday every year, didn't they?
No, the birthday meals were always like any other meal, and the gifts were always computers, books, and stuff like that.
I see. I guess those don't appeal to high school girls at all.
I've dreamed of going to MoniRobo Land and eating MoniRobo cake for my birthday.
Let's do that! I'll make your dream come true! I haven't been able to celebrate your birthday properly until now. From now on, I'll celebrate your birthday every year for you till you get a boyfriend.
Really? Wow, it's going to be a while before I get a boyfriend.
Hey, you don't want people to say you have a brother complex, Sweet Home Alabama style.
Then people will say you have a sister complex.
We had dinner together and laughed. I never thought I'd be so happy. I probably will never forget what my parents did to me. But I thank them for raising Mika. I wouldn't say it was a good upbringing, but I'm sure they loved Mika in their way. From now on, I'll be your brother and legal guardian. And I'll do my best to take care of you till you're a full-fledged adult.
Thank you, brother.